Hi guys. Today I'm finally getting around to cleaning out the heat exchanger cooling tube with the salt water passes through all of these small holes and the fresh water circulates around the tubes inside of here. So that is what makes the heat transfer from the fresh water into the cold water and then go out to the exhaust. But this thing needs to have a clean. It's quite full of gunk everywhere. It's not too bad inside of the tubes actually, but I want to clean it up since I've got it outside of the boat, so I'm going to show you how I do that. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try and show you what the tubes look like now. And like I said, they're fairly good. There's not much gunk in them, so surprisingly little actually, but I want to make it as good as possible. So this tip I kind of took from another YouTube channel. It's called yeah, I don't know what it's called. Coast Life, Canadian couple that is doing some sailboat refits and stuff, and I like to follow them because the guy in this series is also a car mechanic, so, and he's learning sailing as he goes, so I feel I can kind of relate, so that's kind of good. So he had made a metal string that he just was poking through his tubes on his engine while the heat exchanger was in the boat, so he just measured how long the heat exchanger was and so on. But since I have the tube outside, I will show you what I do. I think he just used some metal pot. I've chosen to use a copper wire actually, because I believe these tubes are copper and they're gonna circulate salt water, so I don't want any other contaminant to get in there. So I want to keep the similar metals together, so I don't want to scratch it with something else. It would probably completely harmless, but it's not stupid to be a bit cautious around these things because this is an expensive part, so I like to keep it. I will switch camera and I will try to show you the inside of the tubes. This is the inside of the tubes of the heat exchanger. So the one that light reflects through now, I've already cleaned once just to test this system. These other ones have a bit of gunk in them all around, not too much, but there is a little bit in all of them, and I like to keep it as clean as possible. So yeah, this is not bad at all, but I like to do this anyway. And if we look at the top of this tubing, it is a lot of gunk. Here we have some remains of the gasket. That's going to be removed, and we're going to clean this surface really well. And in the other end it's the same story. All of the gasket is gone, but it's a lot of stuff on this end. So yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm shoving this with a straight end of the string through one of the holes. We just have to pick one. I keep track of which one we have done. And when the string pokes out on the other side, I connect it to the drill. Now I just pull it out of the tube. So what happens is that while this is turning in the tube, while I take it out, it scrapes off the gunk all the way around, most of it, and it collects on points of this. So yeah, I think that is going to work out great. So I'm just going to proceed. I'll put the camera on a time lapse because it's not that interesting to watch me fiddle about, but in high speed, everything is funny in high speed. So I figured I had to make these paper little lumps of paper that I just shove into these openings because I lost track right away. So now we have only one left, and I will show you now that I've got some practice in this, how I do it. I figured I need to put the safety goggles on because when the copper wire comes out of the hole in the other end, it really can fly off. And yeah, I got one of those, but and then I just picked up the safety goggles and started to keep control over the wire with my hand. Of course, that is a risk. You could probably cut yourself on the wire when it comes out, but some risk you just have to take, I guess. So in the beginning, I'm going quite slow. You can see the wire in this end is turning slowly. If it goes too fast, it will just get thrown off to one or another side and just make a big curl of itself. So you have to keep control over the speed. You can increase the speed as you get closer to the tube with the end of the wire. When I got this far, I can move it the other way as well. I can poke it through the other way and re-enter it, but I have to be careful. Oops. Because eventually the copper wire will break. It's too soft. So I just move on in. So that's it. That's all the holes. So now I'm gonna get paper balls out of the holes. For that I'm gonna use my compressor and air gun. And the air compressor is filled up and we're ready to blast out the paper plugs. We just do this directly into the trash bag so I don't have to go and look for them afterwards. So that should be all. Looks good. So this is what the tubes look like now that we have cleaned them, and they're all really good now. This looks perfect. So call that a success. Say a big thank you to Coast Life for putting me on to this idea. Now that all the tubes has been cleaned, I need to take care of the surface here because there is a rubber seal that goes on here and that needs to be able to seal up properly. And these are the caps that the gasket sits against, so we need to make this good and clean. Of course, my small screwdriver is in the boat, so I have to find something else. So now I'm using this scratch marker. So that's okay. Just need to make sure I get all this rubber off. That's all gone. And I also think that my wire brush is in the boat as well, because I'm working on the corrosion issues. So I have to find a different solution. I need to scrub off all of this incrustation on these surfaces. So I've cleaned off both surfaces roughly, so they're almost done. We'll take a proper wire brush to them, and I'm also going to hose this one down because since I took it out of the boat I've been soaking it in some like WD-40 stuff. This just some cheap stuff that came with the boat. I'm just trying to use it for unimportant things like this. So it's been soaking a little bit in that, not to oxidize too much. So now I'm gonna hose that off so it's clean, and then I'm gonna brush off this surface a little bit, and this one as well, and then this part will be ready for assembly in the heat exchanger. So yeah, I guess that's the next video, assembling the heat exchanger. So that's gonna be nice to see it back together. Some copper wire. This is just from an electrical wire. I just pulled it out of an electrical wire for houses with a solid core. So this is actually the ground wire in the European style wires, at least. So yeah, I just pulled it out, There's no insulation on it except it's buried in the cable, so it's easy to get out. And yeah, made some twists in it by I just took this pencil like this and I was wrapping it around and just remove the pencil and you get some shape to it. This changes a bit as you use it, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.